Art is inherently collaborative, and I think that I wanted to take a chance to really collaborate with Evan and Kevin from day one on this. Tim Munro is an ongoing collaborator of mine. We first worked together when I wrote the piece South Catalina for 8th Blackbird, of which Tim was a member.
And I was immediately struck by how much of a kind of kindred spirit he was. Chris's music explores a kind of decay. There are these beautiful sounds, but they always seem to be kind of coming apart at the edges a little bit.
I was living, when I wrote this piece, at the American Academy in Rome, and I would walk from room to room, and suddenly the acoustics would change around me from a regular sort of room like this I'm in right now, and then suddenly I'd be in this grand hallway and my voice would reverberate. And that sort of got me thinking about writing a piece wherein the acoustics are part of the structure.
One of the things that speaks to me so much about Liminal Highway is its sense of space. And those sort of acoustic spaces that Chris is exploring were perfect for this video, where Kevin and Evan of 410 Media could explore the different kinds of spaces that feel like they have different sorts of presences, just like in Chris's piece.
So this project really kind of exemplifies what we are always trying to accomplish, with the videos that we do. Taking an already amazing and beautiful work and just trying to put it in a setting that maybe can help amplify what's already being said in the piece. And also to help the viewer or help the audience along with the piece and maybe unpack something that's in the piece that maybe they wouldn't have unpacked if they were just listening to it.
So the first step for us was to find a location that matched the criteria of just totally immersing Tim.
We stumbled across this old abandoned ship called the SS United States that's just been docked here. They gutted it. It's completely empty. They took out all the internals that a typical cruise liner would have.
And it seemed like this was the perfect fit for what this project called for. After speaking with the SS United States Conservancy, we discovered that there were a number of spaces on board the ship that would be totally perfect for different movements of Liminal Highway.
I've almost never been in a place where the ghosts of the past seem so present. This ship, this kind of hulking graveyard, it feels like I can almost hear the sounds of the past, the voices, the clinking of glasses, the sound of music. And Chris's music is so much about memory that the idea of doing a video of Liminal Highway in such an evocative memory space was too good to turn down.
Because this ship is no longer active, it was actually a very tricky process to be able to get us on board in the first place. The ship is currently docked in Philadelphia, so when we arrived to bring our gear on board, we actually had to park next to a narrow and steep ramp that led us over the water onto the ship.
It took us, I think, a couple of hours. I helped the team load the things onto the ship, which had to happen through very narrow gangways and up awkward stairs and down hallways that weren't flat.
But once we got on the ship, it was surreal. The first location was the old ballroom. So it was really open. You had windows on both sides. It covered the whole expanse of the middle of the ship.
As movements 2 and 4 felt very circular to us. It's kind of these looping patterns.
The camera spins around me in an ever speeding up kind of loop as the music itself is gathering steam and spinning itself in an ever increasing loop.
There was an abandoned theater with a stage that seemed like a good place to kind of sit still and let movement 3 happen, sort of almost static and meditative, the eye of the storm in the piece.
I don't think I've ever quite felt so much of a sense of being alone in the world, in this kind of cavernous, forgotten space that would have been filled with laughter and drinking and carousing. And there I am, just on my own on this stage, looking out at a space with nobody there.
It was almost like this kind of apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic place that we just stumbled upon. The next location that we used was this long expanse. I believe it was a sun deck, or it used to be a sun deck for the passengers. So it was completely covered with windows for a good portion of the ship.
1 and 5 seemed very much like a straight line to us. It was sort of like this entryway into the piece and then exit out of the piece for 5.
These single shots that move incredibly slowly, just as the music itself is unfolding very slowly.
I think there's a lot of physically interesting things about the work to see Tim perform it, because I think you might hear a recording and go, oh, what is that? What is that sound? And to see the physical mechanism behind it really does add something to the composition. My music is cinematic in terms of it thinking of scenography, and so the piece is really a composition in 5 scenes. And I really wanted to share that with the audience through collaboration with these really interesting filmmakers.
There's a sense in the final video that there's a great loneliness. And I think of the ship, the SS United States, as a kind of lonely vessel. Here is this amazing testament to America's past that is in some ways forgotten.